Good day and welcome to yet another episode of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. Once again we are talking schoolboy rugby, and once again schoolboy rugby. With me again, joining me again, of course, the founder, Mr. Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza himself. How are you?
Good on you, Steve. It's
Great.
been a interesting weekend of schoolboy rugby, so I'm very happy to discuss today. And yes, some interesting results, but we will delve into that once we get started. Um,
Absolutely.
and otherwise, how are you?
No, it's been great. It's been a great weekend. Yeah, some incredible, interesting results. Just when you think it can't get any more exciting and crazier, it just gets more crazier.
Yeah.
Schoolboy rugby in South Africa is alive and well. The depth is growing, the quality is growing, and gone are the days that only 3 to 4 to 5 teams are dominating the scene.
Oh,
We've
yes.
got now at least 10 to 12 schools that are competing and that can compete with the best. So it's going to be exciting to see the results. And of course, also we also went to watch some rugby. Louis. We went to actually watch, and we're also going to discuss that game. We
Yes.
went to go and watch the Bastion, Bryanston High versus Bastion.
Yes. And this is also exactly what we want to do, is to give these schools the platform that they deserve. And
Absolutely.
it was phenomenal. I was so happy that we went. I think everything just went like a
Absolutely.
well-oiled machine. And I had a blast. I don't know about you, but I
It
absolutely
was awesome, yeah.
blast.
Of course,
Uh,
it was incredible.
yeah,
It
it
was incredible.
was just phenomenal. And again,
Yeah.
the 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 moms, especially the moms, right? They never disappoint at the rugby games. Never.
Yeah. Absolutely. Of course, we're going to discuss that later on. But
Yeah,
let's dive into the results of this
right.
weekend, and then we will go into that match
So
also.
in no particular order. So first up, Northwood DHS 17-14. That is a very interesting one. Um, Low scoring game. And
Wow.
I saw a few of these games just before we went to Bryanston High and afterwards when we came back as well.
Yes.
Um, but we will discuss that when we talk about that game, particularly later on. Um, all the fields, because it was raining on Friday evening, as we know, and it seems it rained through the whole country. All the fields were muddy and wet. So,
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, no, it was even the game that we went, you could see the
yes,
mud, the mud paths on the grass, the
yeah.
mud pools.
And right, so Maritzburg College, Pretoria Boys High. That is a very interesting one, actually.
Yeah,
Because
that's a bit of a hiding for Pretoria boys.
hmm, and then Dale College and Queen's College, 31-29.
Very
Um,
competitive.
then again, look at this, Outeniqua, 62-0.
Yeah, no, I think Nico is also one of your fastest, most improved, or most quality teams now, and rapidly moving through the ranks.
Yes,
Strong top 20 team now in South Africa, just outside the top 10, if
yeah,
not in the top 10, but they
yeah.
are up and about, and definitely a team for the future that to be contended with. And
Mm.
watch out for Atoniqua. Not too long from now, they will take on the likes of the Paul teams, Paul Roos, and Great College for top honors. They are now slowly but surely getting into that kind of league.
Right. And then Selborne, Graham College,
Yeah, that's a
36.
good competitive score.
Yeah. Nikomalam, Framesby, 35-34. Now, I just want to sit on this for a second because
Sure.
Nikomalam, since the start of the season, they've actually shown that they can. Um,
Yes.
And the way they play, you can see they are really trying their utmost best, and they have a never die attitude. But also, the other team, since the start of this season, 2026 particularly, that has really impressed me, that I'm really keeping an eye on, is Framesby. Although they have
Yeah,
won all their games, but they are really one of those teams that are really giving me the impression that they are pushing forward and they want to. And that is very encouraging to see. And that they lost with 1 point. Actually, I was
yeah.
wishing for them to win. They didn't. So,
Nico
but
Milan is also, of course, a team. They've been up and down this season and winning one, losing one, and winning again. But
mm,
they've also been at the North Side tournament and playing very good rugby. And they're
mm,
definitely up and about in the top 50 in South Africa. So it's definitely a competitive school with
yes.
some quality players and some real talent. So I would love to see them coming through the ranks and to see how they are going to develop in the next few years, also with the structure and how they are managing the teams and the schools and the players. I think Nico Milan can very well become a future top 50 performing team in South Africa.
Yes. And Marlow, Hudson Park, 26-15. And now this is also another interesting one, Brandwag and Muir College. Now, I have seen Muir College quite a few times play, and
Yeah,
actually, they play good rugby. Um, they want to, but when the going gets tough, what I've seen in all their matches up to so far this season, when the going gets tough, it seems all the wheels are coming off. And
yeah.
it's actually very sad to see they only lost with 1 point. But let's hope the season is still young. So,
Oh, it's incredible. It's very early days. We're not even into the winter season, Louis. We are now only into autumn. It just sounds like it's been such an incredible long season because we've started so early with the rugby. We've started as early as February with rugby.
yes,
But I can tell you there's still lots of rugby. I mean, the Noordvaart Trophy has only barely started. Of course, we will have an episode about that also in this week. But the Noordvaart Trophy has literally only started this week. And
yeah,
that shows you, and it's a long tournament, it's a full tournament, and that shows you how long the rugby season still is to go.
yeah,
There's still lots of rugby to be played.
yeah. So, and then Daniel Pienaar and Otto du Plessis, also two of your smaller teams that have really,
Yeah,
up to thus far, really impressed me as well. Um, and they are very much on the same level. So for
yeah,
Daniel Pienaar to pull this one through with quite a convincing victory is
yeah. Good 3-point
um,
victory.
they are telling a story. So you never know what will happen later on in the season, and I really want to keep my eye out for them as well this season.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah, there's
that,
actually a couple of teams that I would love to see how they are coming through this season.
yeah.
Definitely.
And you see, this was another game that we could have opted to go to Noordjewel and Kes.
Yes.
Um, actually, I'm I'm gonna put my heart in my sleeve here that actually I would have hoped that Kes would have won. Not because of any particular reason, but purely because
Yeah.
of I like Kes very much, but they fell short on this one. So,
People need to remember that Noordheuvel is also in the top 10. They've been in the latest ranking, they were 8th or 9th. If they're not in the top 10, they're just outside the top 10. So you're talking here about a strong top 20, in the top half of the top 20
mm,
team. And Case also no slouch. They, of course, are in the top 50 in South Africa.
Yeah.
So that is a convincing victory. But Noordheuwel is seriously becoming a real quality school in
Mm.
schoolboy rugby,
Yeah.
which is incredible to see.
Now, thank goodness we weren't at this game.
Yeah,
29-8.
that's also very good. That what a match up this game. JP against Vespel, two top 10, also two schools that's just outside the top 10.
Mm.
One of Durban's top schools against one of the Gauteng's top schools. Yeah, great performance. And what a game that was, 29-28.
Yeah. And now we go to a Pretoria derby, Waterkloof versus Menlo Park.
Yeah, it's two giant teams. Both of them are two of the top teams, and both of them were no. Menlo Park was at the Noordside tournament,
Yes.
and we all know that Waterkloof is also a strong top 20 team in South Africa. So that is a titanic clash between two giants of Pretoria schools.
Yes. And you see, it was a very low scoring game.
Yes, yeah, that is a thriller of a match.
Yeah. So, and then we go to Ege Jansen, 38, Ben Foster, 25. Now, Ben Foster, they haven't won much of their games so far, but
Yeah,
actually, they play a good brand of rugby. And I think from what I can see, I'm very encouraged to see that they are busy. It seems they're busy building something. So
that's good.
I would really like to see them do better as the season goes on. Um, and then hope they can get a few wins under the belt as well.
Absolutely.
Now we
And
go
look
to,
at that flash. The two Middleburg
yes, the
schools,
Mpumalanga Giants, right?
the two Middleburg teams.
Yes, Hartius Middelburg and Hoërskool Middelburg.
Wow.
Not much in the game, right?
No, that must be a highlight for the people in Middleburg.
Yeah,
This derby. This is schoolboy derby at its best.
yeah.
The two top schools, and both of them are giants, as you said, in Mpumalanga rugby.
Oh, yeah.
And both of them were at the North South. I think we actually spoke to the coach of Middleburg
Yes, we did.
at the North Side tournament.
Yes, yes. We had an interview with him as well while we,
Yes,
uh,
absolutely.
and also, as I said previously in our previous episodes, um, while they were playing one of the teams on the Saturday. He literally sat behind us and you could hear, and he's like, no, 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 come guys. You must make a maul, get the ball, 1-2, pass down, 1-2, make a maul, move forward. And as I said to you previously as well, I wonder what his post-match speech would have
Yeah,
been, guys.
absolutely.
So, but and also what I loved about him, yes, you can see he's a teacher, obviously, as well, but just the way he explained to our scout, Mr. Vaughan, on
Yes,
what they should have done and how they should have progressed with one or two of the penalties where they would have most likely would have scored and probably won the game. They didn't do that. And it was just such a beautiful way to see that the coach was interacting with us, was interacting with the crowd. That
yeah,
it shows that they don't think they are better than us. Um, because you were sitting at the scoreboard and we heard him say something, and Vaughan turned around and he's like, yeah, I'm the coach, and this is what they should have done. And he pointed out this. It was so beautiful. And later on, all the guys who were around us actually sat and listened to him. So that was something very special that you cannot script this. And
absolutely.
that was probably one of the highlights out of the Noordside tournament for me.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. And Now look at this one. This is an interesting one. Oosmoed 29, Nelspruit 14. Now we also know that Nelspruit is one of your, if not the top school in that, one of the top schools in that area as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
And we saw them at St. John's. Um, they actually played good rugby. They
Oh
actually,
yeah,
once they start going, get going, they really they go through the gears very quickly. And they are actually, when those gears go through, they become a very dangerous team. So for them to lose this one, better luck next time round, I presume. And now we come to an interesting one. Pitt Retief 42, Alderain 10.
yeah, and Alderaan is also a team that's in the top 100. Of course, they gave Hoërskool Randburg, our very first game that we attended under Schoolboy Bonanza.
Hmm.
They gave to Hoërskool Randburg a hiding on Randburg home ground, and Alderaan is always up and about in the top 80.
Yeah,
So it's definitely no slouch. They're in Division 3 of the Noordvaal Cup this year.
right. And you see, Pitt Retief is a very small school compared to
Yes,
Alderain. So
yeah,
for them to pull one over Alderain, that says something.
absolutely.
So that is fantastic to see. And then the last one on this page that we have here, Transvalia 21, Kempton Park 13. Now, I think both of these teams are more or less on the same level. So,
Yeah, both of them are just inside the top 40
yeah,
according to the ranking. So it's
yes.
two teams that's both are top teams in the African schoolboy rugby.
Yeah. So I think it could have gone either way.
Absolutely.
So, but Kempton Park can hold up their heads high. I mean, one loss in early season, I don't think that's a big brain smash. So they can always build on the positives, right?
Absolutely. Like, there's still many matches to play. Many season has only just started.
Yeah, no.
Still lots of rugby to go yet.
Yeah. And then now this game, just after we finished our game on Saturday, I was just in time for this game.
Wow.
Steve. Oh my word. It was mud, mud. Oh,
Yeah,
um, but wow. I think um Grey College could have won this one, but they made some very uncharacteristic mistakes in the first half. Silly, stupid mistakes. That is very uncharacteristic from them. Um, but I must tell you, Paul had no answer to Magetsi, the fullback. What a phenomenal player. Every time he got the ball, just through the whole Paul team, almost to the try line. So if they could have phased out or eliminate these silly mistakes, I am sure Grey College would have won. But on the other hand as well, Paul Gim, where I think they won the game as well, is because of their fly half, Louis Kuhn Jr. He played a phenomenal game. He really controlled the back line like a proper fly half should. So
wow.
he was very instrumental in what the back line did, defensively and attack wise. And something I kept my eye on now as well, now that we know that Marcus Miller is not in the number 13 jersey anymore. So I can't remember his name now. It slipped my mind. But the number 13 that has come into Marcus Miller's position now for Paul Gim, I think he understands what big shoes he needs to fill.
Yes.
He also had a phenomenal game. Instrumental on attack as well as defense. So that was very encouraging to see.
And of course, Paul Gim is one of your top contenders for the number one spot in South Africa Schoolboy Rugby this year, alongside Stellenberg and Paul Roos, and then of course the other team, Paul Boys. Great College has had a bit of a tough season and tough results in the early stages. Of course, they also lost narrowly against Nachi College, the last year's world champions in school rugby.
Yeah.
So it's been, I think it's the second or third loss this year so far for Great College. They also lost against Stellenberg.
Yes.
So yeah, it's their third loss already this year. So it's not been the greatest of starts for Great College, and they're not a school that's used to losing so many games in a year, especially not at the beginning of the season.
Correct.
So we all know they're a quality team. They will bounce back.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, definitely, Great College is definitely not out of it. I think they are really going to come back with some incredible results in the next few games.
Oh, yes. And then two of our Cape Town schools, Paul Boys and Wynberg. As we know, as the viewers know, we had an interview with Paul Boys High's coach. And what a phenomenal...
Last year's number 2 team in South Africa.
Yeah. Number 2, number 1. Yes, correct. So, and what a phenomenal coach. And just...
Yeah, it was a very amazing interview.
Yes, it was a very touching interview. It was really phenomenal. So, 29 to them. Steve, actually, I don't want to talk about this one.
Yeah, the two giants of Pretoria Schoolboy Rugby, Gasfontein, the defending champions of the World Trophy, 38-34, and then of course Affies, as they need no introduction. They're one of the top 5 schools in South Africa Schoolboy Rugby. They finished 5th last year.
Yeah.
So for Gasfontein to take it over Affies, one of your top 5 schools in South Africa, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What a game that must have been.
I watched this game. Right, because it was late afternoon. My heart sank, wanted to sink, but both teams came out to play. You could see they did not leave anything to chance. When they had an opportunity, they went. And a shout out to, in my opinion, I think he should have got man of the match. The left wing Joshua Gous from Affies scored a hat-trick in the game.
Wow,
and
awesome.
Every time he got the ball, there was trouble. There was huge trouble. They really had to try everything in their power to stop him. He almost, right at the end, in the dying seconds, almost scored a 4th try. And if he scored that try, Affies would have won. But as he dived, his feet went over the line. So it would have been 4 tries for him. Affies would have won, but better luck next time, right?
Affies is also a team that's also had a bit of an uncharacteristic start to the season. Also, This is also their 3rd loss this season. They've lost against both the Paul teams, Paul Roos, not the Paul, sorry. They lost against Paul Roos, and then they lost, I think they lost against either Paul Gym, but they lost also against one of the Paul teams.
Yeah.
So this is also Affie's third loss in the season that I know of. So
Yeah.
it's also been a tough start for Affie, and I think they've slumped down to the rankings from fifth now to eighth. They now
Yeah.
currently ranked eighth in South Africa, and
Yeah.
that's a bit of an unusual spot for Affie because they used
Yeah.
to be in the top 5 in South Africa
Correct.
rugby.
Correct. So then the next one, and I think this is also one of the schools that are going to make a big contention for the number 1 spot is Paul
Yeah, Paul
Roos.
Roos, absolutely.
Um,
Last year's number 1 team.
So I think they want to try and keep that number 1 spot. But
Yeah, and they won against Grey High, which of course is the number 1 team in Eastern Cape Rugby. So they played
right,
against the Giants of Eastern Cape Rugby, and it's a good solid victory, 28-15.
yeah. And then our Giant Slayers of last year, Oakdale,
Yeah, good
21-7
win
to
for them
Durban.
against Durbanville.
Yeah. And Sachs Bishops.
Just to come back to the Oakdale, sorry, Louis,
Yes.
just to come back to the
Go
Oakdale
on.
game.
Yes.
We also had an interview with the Durbanville's coach at
Yes.
the Noordstate tournament. And
Yes.
Durbanville's also a team that's now inside the top 20 or just outside the top 20. It's definitely a team now to be reckoned. So definitely a competitive team. And we all know that Oakdale finished 6th last year.
Yes.
So that is a very good clash and a very good victory for Oakdale.
And just to add on to the Durbanville interview we had at Noordstate.
Yes.
The coach was very pleased with the results, whether they won, whether they lost, because as I remember when we had the interview, he said it's a foundation to build on for the rest of the season, to sort out the squad and try and see what works, what doesn't work.
Absolutely.
So obviously this week it didn't, but we wish him all the best for the rest of the season and his team. We wish them well for the rest of the season and hope
Absolutely
they will bring in the results as he would have hoped. So, and also something that when we speak to the coaches, whether it's at the games or when we have the interviews with them, have you realized something that I picked up over the course of this last couple of weeks? How no matter whether they win, whether they lose, they just try to instill that positiveness into the players, into themselves, into the belief that they can always be better.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's what we call good, strong, positive coaching.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, rugby is all about basics and sticking to your basics. And there's such a fine margin in many of the games between winning and losing. It's absolutely incredible. So the one weekend you can actually have a bit of a hiding because the basics wasn't done, but the next weekend you can actually turn it around into a great convincing victory because things on the day went 100% perfect. Sachs against Bishops, of course, both teams are two of your top teams in Western Cape rugby, so that's also a competitive game. And then, of course, the Stellenbosch Mouthpost Shaft, there's no surprises there. We're talking here about a team that's number 1 South Africa, so that was no surprises. That's always going to be a huge victory for them. And then Boland Landbou finishing the victors over Rondebosch 43-41.
Goodness. I'm very happy I wasn't at that game. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a high-scoring game. 84 points in that match.
Yeah, and I mean, it could have probably gone either way, right?
Yeah, it's also two of your top teams in Western Cape Rugby. So that is in Rondebosch is also one of your traditional oldest schools in South Africa. So a school that's been there for a long time now.
Yeah, right. Then
that's the feature game that we went to, Louis.
Yes. So actually, there were a few other results as well. I know Randburg played against Hartebeest, but those weren't released as yet when we did this recording.
No
And this
problem.
is the game we want to talk about.
Yeah, I just want to make a correction for the viewers. Of course, Bastion finished off the victory, not Bryanston. Bastion scored 64 points and Bryanston
Oh,
scored
that's my
90.
mistake. I do apologize.
No problem. But yeah, Bastion was the winner, victor 64-19.
Yeah. So this was actually probably the highlight out of all the games, right? And this is what and why we started this whole journey. It's
Yes,
for the schools of this caliber that
absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
we give them a platform.
Absolutely. You know what I love about, but not both of these teams are not ranked inside the top 200. So it's both of them don't get opportunity to play in the Noordwal Cup and those things. And we actually had an interview with the coach of Bastion's second team,
Yes,
where he talked about the challenges. And off air, he actually told us about the challenges since 2019, because 2019, Bastion was ranked 93rd in South Africa. But since then, the school has gone down from 900 to, I think, just over the 600 pupils, and they had to rebuild the structure again.
yes,
So the fact that they've been in the top 100 tells you that they are a competitive school. They've got the potential. They definitely have, and you could see it.
yes.
All the teams of Bastion were the victors against Bryanston.
Bryanston, yes,
All their teams have won. And take nothing away from Bryanston, there's also some serious talents in the Bryanston team. But it's just that Bastion has got such a more kind of established structure already in place, where I think Bryanston still needs to go through the ranks. And I would love to see how Bryanston is going to develop. And Louis, we watched the first team game. And
yes,
what was very encouraging for me was that Bryanston in the first half, as I said also on the videos, you can
yes,
catch it up on the YouTube. I see that Bryanston were competitive in the first 20 minutes. There was
yes,
nothing to choose. It's just that the basic mistakes that they made, Bastion capitalized on it, and Bastion always scored. They even scored a try from their own try line, interception try, because of a mistake that Bryanston made. Bastion capitalized.
yes,
And at 56-5 was the half-time score. You know, we thought, I told you now, you can see Bryanston is down and out. We're going to see an 80 to 90 point victory. But then all of a sudden, at 64-5, it was as if Bryanston got a second wind, and they scored 2 tries in the last 5 minutes. I think the last 5 or 10
yes,
minutes, and it
correct.
was 64-19. And you could see that Bryanston's got serious talent in the back line. You know, whenever the back line touched the ball, they were dangerous. And we had a chat with the captain of Bryanston's first team, and
Yes,
he actually pointed out that their fullback is a seriously talented player.
yeah,
And the scrum half of Bryanston is two serious players. That's the top players of Bryanston that we need to have a look at. So give Bryanston, as I said, give them a couple more games in the season, and I think you're going to see a total different team at the end of the season playing.
yes. And you see also what I absolutely loved about this. Um,
Yes.
that we had an interview with the first team's captain.
Yeah.
Tall man as he played lock. And as you said,
Yeah.
they, in the first 20 minutes or so, you could see they came out to play. And something that you also mentioned as they ran on the field, where they held their badge as they ran on the field. And as you said,
Amazing.
this is what it means to play for your school, play for the first team, play
Yeah.
badge, play for the jersey. And take nothing away. I mean, people are very quick to judge 64-19. Oh, wow, they got a big hiding. But they were
They never gave up, Louis. They never gave up.
there. And this is what I love. They never gave up. And as you said, and as we saw while we sat there, every time the backline got the ball, they looked dangerous. They could penetrate, and they did. And it was, as you said, the silly mistakes, the basics that wasn't laid down from the beginning. So
Absolutely.
um, But they held up their head high. They are very positive for the rest of the season, both teams. Um, and also, it was great to hear from the second team's coach of Bastion that their numbers are busy increasing,
Yes.
and that inc is an encouragement to the rest of the so-called smaller schools, as we always dub them, but that they mustn't be discouraged, that they play in a league that is maybe lower. It doesn't matter. And they must just remember, they must enjoy rugby. They must play for the school. And whether they win, whether they lose, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy your time on the field.
Yeah, the results will come. The results will come at the end of the day. If you
Mm,
if you do the basics right and you play with confidence and you give it your all, the results will come. The results will sort them out. But you first have to get to a point where you enjoy it. Because
yes.
out of the enjoyment and the passion comes confidence, and out of the confidence comes results.
Right.
So,
Correct. Correct.
absolutely.
100%. 100%. But also, what I absolutely loved about this game, um, that the crowd, although it wasn't a big crowd, but again, I think you can listen to the parents, and I was sitting there and like, all right, if you know so much, why don't you go and coach?
Yeah,
I'm always tempted to tell the parents this. I mean, just let them be, let them play, let them make the mistakes, let them score a try, let them kick over a conversion, let them miss a conversion. It doesn't matter. It's all part of the game. These things happen because at the end of the day, we are human. We are not perfect. So,
absolutely.
um, and I think both teams can hold up their heads high, never mind the scoreline. And also, it seems afterwards they went to embrace each other, wished each other well. And that was also very encouraging to see, right?
Absolutely. No, it was, we were privileged to be there. It was really nice. And of course,
Yeah.
if you would like to see the videos, we've posted all the videos on our Global School Rugby Bonanza um, YouTube YouTube channel. So you can
Yeah.
actually catch up on the interviews we had with the players, the second team players, the coach of Bastion, as well as the first team captain of Bryanston and the fullback of Bryanston. And then we also had a couple of interviews with some of the pupils that's at the school, as well as one of the ground workers. And that for me was very special.
Yes.
So
Shame.
it was, all in all, it was really worth it.
Yeah.
Right, as our episode for today is coming to a close,
Mm.
thank you once again for joining us. It's been
Yes.
some incredible rugby.
Yeah.
Of course, in our next episode, please join us on Wednesday. A huge tournament is coming up this weekend, the Villa tournament. And we will, of course, have a preview on the Villa tournament, the teams that's playing, some of the key matches, what to look out for, what schools to look out for. So please, you don't want to miss that episode. We're also going to talk about the tournament in Menlo.
Yes.
We won't be at the Villa tournament, but of course, we're going to have a team that's going to the Menlo Park. If all else is working out and it's possible, we're actually going to send out a team to a tournament that's going to take place at Menlo.
Yes.
Against some of your smaller teams that's not part of the Villa that's going to be
Yeah.
participating there.
Yes.
And then, of course, on Friday, we're going to have a special edition episodes we normally don't have, but because there's so much rugby, there's incredible amount of schoolboy rugby, we need to have a third episode this week just to fit it in. And of course, then we're going to talk about the Noordwal Cup, an incredible tournament. It was always known as the Administrators Trophy. Then it was changed to the Directors Trophy. Then it became the Beale Trophy, and now it's called the Noordwal Cup. Exciting new format. There's 4 divisions now.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Three top divisions, as well as a fourth division where there's going to be 2 sections in the 4th division. So please, you don't want to miss that episode because we will bring to you the teams that's participating in that tournament.
Hmm.
To all our members on our Facebook group on our of Global School Rugby Bonanza, we want to say thank you so much. We have now surpassed the 700 members mark. We are growing at a fast rate. We are almost now close. We are closing down to 720 members. So we would like to say thank you so much. Of course, we also have a YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza. So if you haven't subscribed yet or joined our Facebook group, please join us. And then we're also on other platforms as well. We've got a WhatsApp group channel under a different name, Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, as well as an Instagram account called Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. Yes. So please join it. And then we also got a TikTok account that you can also join. So please join our platforms and become part of the Bonanza Maniacs, where we are talking schoolboy rugby, global school rugby, and we are celebrating the future of world rugby. Wow. To all our top contributors, we want to say thank you so much. A special shout out to Christian Skitten.
Yes.
For always, he's always commenting on our match results, watching, asking us what's the score and the updates. So thank you so much. You are our top member for this week. So we would like to say thank you to you. And then to all of our members, and then to all the people that's working behind the scene. A special thanks to Louis' wife, Sarah van Kopenhagen, that helps us with the online magazine. If you also would like to follow our online magazine, we will post a link every time on our Facebook group. It's also, you can also check on the future section for if you haven't read through the first 3 episodes of this month. The links for edition 1, 2, and 3 is already out. So you just go to our feature section. There we will catch up on all our episodes of our podcast, including our magazine.
Yes.
So you can catch up. And then, of course, April, we will have our 4th edition also available. So once a month, our online magazine comes out. So Louis from Copenhagen, of course, with Sarah, is running that. And then, of course, we also would like to thank our journalist, Arnu, that's also heavily involved in the magazine, as well as our interviews. Mm. And then, of course, last but not least, we would like to give a special shout out to one of our co-leaders on the Global School Bonanza group, Elaine Hogan from Ireland, that is promoting Schoolboy Rugby there for us, as well as also keeping an eye out for us on Schoolboy Rugby there and building relationship with the coaches in the area and in Irish Schoolboy Rugby.
Yes.
Thank you once again so much. Thank you so much, Louis, Mr. Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza.
And it's always a pleasure to be with you. And until we meet again.
Awesome. From our side, it's goodbye until Wednesday.